All right, young historians, you have been invited to meet at Philadelphia next week at Independence Hall. Actually, it was called the Pennsylvania State House at the time, now Independence Hall, to talk about what's going on in the United States and to maybe make some changes to help solve the problems, or, as your invitation says, to render the Constitution of the federal government adequate to the exigencies of the Union. In other words, you're going to be participating in the Constitutional Convention. Now, this is an overview of what you are going to be doing to prepare for the Constitutional Convention, and you've got to be prepared. That's the key. We have to be prepared, all right, or else it doesn't work. Sitting in this room right here, if they weren't prepared, nothing's going to get done. So these are the three things you're going to be doing, three learning experiences. You're going to find out what influenced the framers, you're going to find out a little bit about the calling of the convention, and then you're going to find out about your delegate that you are going to represent. First is influencing the framers. Your goal, your target, as you can see, is that you can identify and explain the main ideas that influence the framers of the Constitution. To do that, I've made a site with a lot of information. You don't have to go searching. In fact, I pledge, I encourage you, I query you, I hope you don't go searching because you're going to find too much information. In this website, you will see the 6 major ideas that influenced the framers of the Constitution right here. You can click on them here, or you can click on them up top. And from there, I want you to pull out some key information. You're going to put that on sketch notes. Or you can do regular notes, but try out sketch notes. That's where you make some illustrations. You still need the notes part. You need to write down key information. But you also can draw or doodle. Use a different part of your brain. It's fun. It's cool. Everybody's doing it. It's neat. So these sketch notes will help you understand what the framers were, or how the framers were influenced. However, if you want to take it a step further, the sketch notes are required, but if you want to take it a step further, you can also try to break into the Constitutional Convention because there are codes or locks right here. You'll see a series of locks, and all of the locks link with some aspect of something you're learning about with the influencing the framers. Now, this is kind of hard to do unless you know a little trick. For example, on this 8-letter lock here, I don't know the answer, so I might put Go Lions. If I'm wrong and I click on it, it will give me a little clue that will help me try to find out what that code actually is. If you type in the code and you click off of it and nothing red comes up, you have the code correct. So if you're interested, give this a whirl. Why would you do that? I don't know. It's fun. It's challenging. Maybe you want to challenge yourself. And maybe people who break into the convention, they might get a little sweet treat. The second task is to listen to what led to the calling of the Constitutional Convention. Your target is that you can describe the events and issues leading to the Constitutional Convention. In other words, why did it happen? It's real simple. There is a audio right here that I made, and it is, what is it? It's about, I think it's about 13 minutes or so. You got to wait till it loads a little bit, then press play, and you can listen along. Now, when you're listening to it, there is a checklist on the back of your convention handout, the green piece of paper. I would use the checklist as you're listening because that's the things that you should be comprehending. Once you're done listening to it, look at the target and then think, can you describe briefly the events and issues leading to the Constitutional Convention? And also a little bit about the delegates. All right? You want to have that done for your convention, either Tuesday or Wednesday. And then finally, it's all about you, the delegate. You will see that in each class, we have people assigned to different delegates. And you're assigned to different groups, a pink group, a blue group, and a yellow group. Each group is who you are going to be having a convention with. We'll all be in one room, but that's kind of like your mini convention. All right? And as you can see in the picture, you're not just really a delegate like that old guy on the left there. I think that's Gunning Bedford from Delaware. Instead, you're more of like a Frankenstein's monster, where I've taken different delegates and I've sort of mashed them together. Your task here is really about analyzing a source. I want you to be able to analyze primary sources to determine historical viewpoints. That's what we do, is thinking like a historian. We look at the past and we're looking at the Constitutional Convention through their eyes. I want you to understand, back in 1787, what were these 55 men bringing to the table and what were their positions on trying to solve the problems of the United States. All right? So this has to be done for Tuesday and Wednesday, because if it's not, then our convention doesn't work and your mini convention doesn't work. So you will get this handed out. It's either on a pink, blue, or yellow piece of paper. You are a delegate. You will see a little description of your delegate, and then you will see that there are major conflicts that were going on at the convention. These are important question areas. You'll see what the big question is and a little bit of information about it. So you want to read that. Then you want to read your historical opinion carefully. And you want to take your historical opinion and you want to put it in your own words. That's not super easy. So I'll give you an example here. So in this case, this is a quote from James Madison, who's a big dog at the conference. And he gives this long quote here. So I want to read this. I'm not going to read it out loud. You guys can. But I'm going to read this, and I'm going to try to bring it into words that we can all understand. That doesn't mean I'm going to change it word for word. But what I don't also want to necessarily do is just copy it down. All that means is that you copied it and you're not hitting the target, that you're analyzing it and putting it in a viewpoint that we can understand. So as I look at this, all right, this is Madison talking about the Articles of Confederation. And I'm going to put it in my words in which that he's going to say, since the new government that they're making will have more power to carry out laws, small states shouldn't have as much power as larger states. This was his argument that a small state like New Jersey shouldn't have as much power as a big state like Pennsylvania or Virginia. That's a debate that happened in the Constitutional Convention. So that's what I want you to do. If these are challenging, you got to give them a whirl, but you could possibly use AI to help you. Now, don't just put it in AI and copy it down, because you want to be able to analyze, and also that's a skill that I want you to develop and I will assess you on. But if you need some help, make sure you're using like dictionary.com. By the way, that's AI. All right. You can do a Google search. That's AI. But you might need some help. If you have questions, though, let me know. So again, to prepare for the convention on Tuesday or Wednesday, 3 big things: influencing the framers, calling of the convention, and your delegate. You will have half of a class either on Friday or Monday to work on this. The other half of that class is going to be about NHD topics. The key is you got to make sure you're prepared. That's essential. If you're not prepared, we're just not going to be successful as a class, and you're not going to be able to learn about, the most important document in America today, probably, the document that was referenced in the presidential debate on September 10th, the document that's only been changed 27 times since 1787. Is that big of a deal? Okay? See me with any questions. Good luck, delegate, and I look forward to a good convention.